Happy Friday. We're back for another episode of the Tech Behind FinTech. Cheers to everybody. Uh, my name is Nnamdi Osuagwu. I'm the host of the Tech Behind FinTech. You can catch us at the techbehindfintech.com. We're discussing some news articles of the week we found interesting. Bear with me. Let me set everything up. We're also live on we're live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, the website Tech Behind FinTech, Twitch, and we're also shooting live from personal Instagram account. So that's disconnected. So you guys are watching the behind the scenes in Instagram, by the way. So let's get into it. But if you want to watch it live, let me just put it here. Let me just pin something real quick. Tech Behind FinTech live. Give me a second. I'm just organizing this thing. All right, it's not working. I was gonna pin it, but whatever. All right, so let's get to it. News articles of the week. Let me see who's you're watching this. Drop a comment, a happy Friday comment, so I know that you're out there. Sometimes people watch it after the recording, after the live, but let's get into it. Okay, first slides. Give me a second. Cool. There we go. All right. First article of the week. Samsung has gotten. They confirmed hackers stole some Galaxy code. Let's get into this article. So, the breach first appeared Monday, or well, it was reported earlier this month, but we got the article on March 7th regarding this breach. It was the same group, Lapsus, that breached NVIDIA earlier on. So what happened? Essentially, what was stolen was roughly 200 gigs of data, including source code used by Samsung for encryption and biometric unlocking functions on the Galaxy. Um, a quote from Samsung. So, according to our initial analysis, the breach involves some source code relating to the operation of Galaxy devices, but does not include the personal information of our customers or employees. Currently, we do not anticipate any impact to our business or customers. We have implemented measures to prevent further such incidents and will continue to serve our customers without disruption. Um, yeah, so that's what's going on there. So I mean, okay, what's the you get source code, what can you see, right? You know all of the libraries that are being used. So from a software composition analysis standpoint, you could see, okay, which libraries do they use? What are their practices? Are those libraries up to date? Because sometimes you are the sum of your weakest link, right? And if you look at previous breaches regarding application security, sometimes it comes from open source libraries. You have source code. You can also run a static code analysis. You can see how secure their code is, right? So therefore, you can look for ways to you can do all the basic things that we do in application security, essentially, right? Like we would run some sort of software composition analysis. We would run a static code analysis so that we have the code. You would see potential vulnerabilities in it that and then you could possibly exploit. It's harder to you know, when you're doing it from outside without having this information, obviously it's possible, but it's a little bit harder. Now that you have this information, you can run all this the security analysis that an internal employee would run to, or consultant, whatever, that they would run to protect their own systems. With that insight, you can kind of see holes. So um, who knows what the outcome's going to be, how's it's going to work. Obviously, also IP and trade data, right? You have that information. That could be stolen. But what they're saying here, which is of concern, obviously, it was code related to encryption and biometrics. So you kind of have what they're using for encryption and biometrics. So you have the inside look on that. So that's obviously of some concern. So let's see how that plays out in the upcoming. Are there any questions on that, or we want to dive into it? But I mean, even in thinking about it, right? Sometimes been cases in the past where some GitHub repositories were compromised. I'm not sure, I'm not saying that this is what happened there. I don't know the information on how that exactly the code was stolen, but um, trade data has been compromised in the past. I mean, people use GitHub sometimes when they protect it or lock it up. You get access to that, but not sure how it's going to play out in this instance. Well, let me just do some behind the scenes stuff and fix our background. There we go. I jump back on comments. Okay, so that's our first one. It's our second one of the day. So Polygon Network, right? It's a blockchain network that has suffered an 11-hour outage. So let's get into it. They call it the layer 2 scaling solution has been down for 11 hours as users are wondering what the holdup is on fixing a bug that compromised the network. So a quote, we suspect from Polygon, we suspect that there may have been a bug in the upgrade which affected consensus and caused different Heimdall validators to be on different versions of the chain, thereby not reaching two-thirds consensus. All right, so let's take a step back. There's a couple of things that was said, and so let's understand a few things. So the Polygon network, right? There are 3 layers to it. They have a smart contracts layer. They have a that runs on Ethereum, and they have a Bohr layer that helps produce the blocks, and they have a third layer as part of their network called the Heimdall layer, which is their consensus model. That they use proof of stake. So what's consensus? So you talk about blockchains, it's all decentralized. So you have to, when a new block is added, you have to have some sort of agreement, and it's a usually in an algorithmic form that states essentially, okay, we agree to put this block. That's consensus. So the majority, 2/3 agree, the block gets added to the chain. So you need some sort of consensus, some sort of agreement among the nodes and the group members. That's just general stuff. So the layer that handles that, they call it Heimdall, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Essentially, there was an upgrade, right? There was a simple, release management, something I've done for plenty of years throughout my career, and releasing stuff to production. Um, Sometimes, issues happen. I mean, in this case, it seems like something was incorrectly deployed, a previous version, and it caused an outage to production. I mean, it's so interesting, right? Because I remember conversations having with clients in different work situations, and every time we would talk about, my philosophy personally was like, if I'm going to release something to production, the first, right? So I always had 2 modes of thought that I was communicating. And I said the first is do no harm. This is if we're not talking about a greenfield project. Greenfield meaning brand new, right? Talking about an existing application that's already live. And my first was always, I said, do no harm to the current production, right? So you don't want to disrupt the current business activity. And the second is you want to ensure that the new functionality is released correctly. So that was always my personal viewpoints on software releases and so forth, in working with employees and clients, employers and clients. So in this case, something went wrong, right? From what they're saying, that that philosophy wasn't quite followed. Um, yeah, so that's what happened. Yeah, validators are on different versions of the chain. So for some reason, so something's wrong with their release process when they deliver it. I don't know the details of that, but that's what it sounds like happened. All right. So any questions on that? Or anybody wants to dive into it, add some stuff, definitely comment. I know this particular episode, usually we pump out a lot of advertising. I don't think we did the necessary marketing for this episode, so you might not have that many users watching. But I know we have some people on Instagram. Instagram, we are also on the Tech Behind FinTech live. I'm looking at the other camera for guys watching me on LinkedIn or YouTube. We are on the Tech Behind FinTech live. Right there, you can post comments and stuff. If you go on our YouTube, if you go to Tech Behind FinTech, we have links to all our platforms there. Okay, let me just wait for somebody. Okay. Let's go to the last article we'll be discussing today. All right, so obviously we know about the unfortunate incidents happening in the Ukraine. Definitely heart goes out to those people. There were a bunch of sanctions being issued against Russia. So now we're kind of covering on the fintech side. Major credit card companies have basically, US credit card companies will stop, suspend operations in Russia. So some of those include Visa, MasterCard, American Express, PayPal as well. So circling back on how this affects crypto, I mean, also exchanges, Coinbase and Binance also are suspending services. For MasterCard, we don't take this decision lightly, said MasterCard, which has operated in Russia for more than 25 years. Understand also that a lot of consumers all over the world, some use cash and some use actually credit cards to buy crypto. So with the suspension of that, you know, credit cards issued in Russia of many of these companies would soon be unable to purchase crypto. They could still do peer-to-peer transactions. So basically, you're meeting someone else directly, and you are getting exchanging crypto with them directly outside of an exchange. So that's what they call peer-to-peer transactions. It's direct with just another person directly. Obviously, you could understand the risk involved with that. You know, it has to be some level of trust. That's what the exchange usually acts as an intermediary for that. So you spend money or something, you'll get it versus going with someone directly and organizing it. But due to sanctions, those credit card companies are pulling out. American Express also said it would stop operations in both Russia and neighboring Belarus. So that is what we have for today's episode. Hold up, let me just remove this. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Today was a short one. Just wanted to cover those quick articles. Definitely shoot over any questions on chat. I'll give it a second. Sometimes I notice when I end the episode, people might have some questions that they shoot it after I close everything down. So I'm just going to give it a second. Any questions, want to shout out on the comments, anything that we discussed, definitely do so. I know that we usually pump out a lot more marketing for the show, so not everybody might have got alerts of today's episode. But in general, we do this show every Friday at 12 p.m. EST. So Tech Behind FinTech will be covering technology topics, different news events in the fintech and crypto space, and also some security issues, obviously, that impact those environments. I'm obviously, if you look at my background, huge into security and technology and so forth. Let me just check. I don't see any questions on my link on my Instagram camera. We have it's so cool because now we are going live on multiple platforms every Friday. So just pumping more information now, but it's all central on the techbehindfintech.com. On that website. You click the play button, you can watch us live. And I think we connected to YouTube and LinkedIn and so forth, because you can see it there. Definitely stay tuned for new episodes, and definitely we haven't had our it's March now. We haven't had a guest so far for 2022, but we're gonna start. reaching out to some folks and start lining up guest slots to really like dive into some topics more in depth. So that should be interesting in the upcoming months and upcoming weeks. We just got to get that coordinated. Um, what else? So we have the yes, we have the news for the show I talked about. I mean, the website, obviously, the techbehindfintech.com. As always, let me pump that in the comment section so you guys can get it. One second. All right, there we go. And also, you're in the fintech space on the technology side, you have an interesting topic you want to discuss. Definitely reach out, and I'd love to have you on, and we can dive into it. Okay. On that note, gonna be tuning off right now. Um, have a great weekend, everyone, and definitely thanks for tuning in as always. Cheers.